Welcome to the 2017 City of Compton Inauguration and Community Celebration. Yes, yes. The day is finally here. My name is Ade Lamar with 102.3 KJLH. Kindness, joy, love, and happiness. I bring you greetings from our owner, Mr. Stevie Wonder. We all love the city of Compton. That is where our wonderful station is licensed. We are licensed in the beautiful city of Compton. So we are excited to be here, and we are honored that all of you are here today to celebrate this special occasion. We celebrate our newly elected officials. Give them all a big round of applause. Today is about community, and this is the day we start a new, greater city of Compton, to take Compton to the next level. Today we come together to show strength in numbers. We are all committed to elevating and empowering this Compton and creating the best environment for our families to thrive in. Now we all must play a part, is that right? As we witness these brave and hardworking individuals take their official oath, let's take our very own oath, shall we? A vow to stay committed and support our elected officials as they lead this great city. Can you do that? Are we in agreement to that? Very good. We are off to a wonderful start. Now I'm honored to introduce this man, a very special man to our community who has committed his life to serving through spiritual guidance and faith. He will bring us our invocation, Apostle Ronald C. Hill of Love and Unity Church.
Before I pray God's blessing today, I'd like to have some brief comments. I'd like to say when there is an individual who is intelligent, who has high moral standards, and a person who respects the Spirit of God, intersects with the grace and mercy of God, the potential is great. And we have such a person in our new mayor. Let's praise God for her today. Praise God. In the Old Testament, when the prophets of God and the king had a loving, biblical-based relationship, great things happened for the people. But when there were a breach between the prophet and the king, then satanic power will take over. But we don't have that problem in the city of Compton. For our mayor, not only is she intelligent, not only does she have high moral standards, she also has a fear for God. And I think that is commendable. Amen. The Bible says, when righteous people are in rule, the people rejoice. And we must remember that the men of God and the politicians serves as a portal to either usher in demonic power or to usher in the presence and power of God. I would like to prophesy that God is going to do something spectacular in the life of our mayor, because she is going to serve as an opening for God to come through. We prophesy that she shall have unusual wisdom and insight, and she will have the ability to deal with both friend and foe. She's not going to overly punish her enemies, and she's not going to take sides with unrighteous friends. She's going to do a wonderful job.
Now we have a very special treat. How many of you are glued to American Idol like I am at some times, right? This gentleman was a contestant there, and this man can sing, as they say, right? He's Compton's very own Jacob Lusk.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn star stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Over ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, the home of the brave.
Jacob Lutz. Effortless talent, right? I promise you I sound just like that. In my head. Michelle, I promise, exactly like that. I hit all those notes. Now I'd like to bring to the stage another hometown hero of Compton. Los Angeles County Supervisor and Court Judge, Kelvin D. Filer, who actually, I heard that he just a few months ago sworn someone very close and dear to his heart, his daughter Cree. She was sworn as the fifth lawyer of her family and the very first female attorney. So please bring up her judge, Kelvin Filer.
My goodness, that follow after Jacob Lutz. Gee. Let me just say to all of the elected officials who are here with us this evening, and to all of you who are truly dignitaries in this community, to the pastors who are here, to the guests, and again, just to the Compton community. July 7th, 2017, I propose to you can be and will be a time of healing. Now, it goes without saying that when you have elections, you have municipal elections, state elections, national elections, there can be some stress, there can be some tension, there can be some anxiety, there can be some frustration. There certainly is going to be hard work, and unfortunately there can be some hard feelings. And ultimately you have joy for the winners, and you have disappointment for others. Now, I hope you noted that I said disappointment for others, because those who did not win, they are not losers, and they should not be considered as losers. The fact that anyone cares enough to run for public office, to me, they're already a winner. They already are. And it speaks volumes to their commitment to the community. However, once the election is over, then as individuals and as a community, we have to let it go. Just let it go. Now, I can personally identify with this process because I served for 12 years on the Board of Trustees of the Compton Unified School District. My father, Max Filer, was a Compton City Councilman for 15 years, from 1976 to 1991. And it was in watching the way my dad carried on himself, I almost said carried on at the meetings, and for those of you who attended the meetings, you know he tended to do that as well. He was a constant no vote on 3 out of the 4 items that would come before the council. But he really stressed and showed how you can vote your conscience on the issues and don't vote on the personality. And the very meaning of a democracy means that we're going to have different views, that we're going to have different approaches, and we're going to have different ideas. My legal training going to law school and practicing law and now being on the bench in Compton since 1993, I can witness firsthand how a similar process is in place when you want the judge to rule a certain way or you want the jury to make a certain finding and they may find against you. You have to let it go. Because if you don't let it go, then you're doing a disservice to your next client or to the next issue, because you're going to be coming up against that same opponent and you're going to come in front of that same judge in the next case. So I'm going to suggest that all of us let the election go. It's over with. And not only is it a time for healing, but I believe that certainly it's a time for optimism. And Compton, I believe, has a very unique opportunity to carry out some wonderful and positive changes that everyone has agreed is needed, whether we're talking about infrastructure improvement, expansion of business opportunities, or addressing the public safety issues. Everybody has agreed these are things that we all want. And I think that Compton is going to be uniquely poised to make some progress, make some major positive developments in those areas. So I'm going to suggest, as we go through this democracy in the city of Compton, certainly I'm not trying to tell anyone how to go about caring about their business. I would never do that. But I would suggest that we consider that we can disagree without being disagreeable. I think we can do that. And our prayers are certainly going to be with all the officials as they prepare to take their oath of office. And I would like to end by simply quoting Mahatma Gandhi. And he simply said, "The future depends on what we do in the present. Stay woke."
Our very first official to be sworn in made history as the youngest elected official and first Latino to hold the office in the city of Compton, Councilman Isaac Galvin, District 1. District 2 will be sworn in by Rob Catterman, President of Water Replenishment District. If they will both come up front here now. Give them a round of applause as they make their way.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming. It's a pleasure to be here. But before we go to the oath of office, I'd like to ask our Senator, Steve Bradford, to come up and say a few words.
Good evening. It is truly an honor to be here. I was caught off a little by surprise, so I want to thank the councilman for giving me just a brief moment just to commend him, the mayor, the councilwoman, and the city clerk and the city treasurer for their re-election, and the city attorney. I've had a long-standing relationship with the city of Compton. I worked for the city for 2 years as their first solid waste director. Then I had the honor of representing Compton for 2 years as the late Congresswoman Juanita Milliner-McDonald's district director, and for 12 years as the Southern California Edison region manager. So it's my first time as an elected official, so I'm honored to be here today to say congratulations to Councilman Galvan after his first term. I know a little bit about local elected. I've spent 13 years as the Gardena City Council, so the work that is done at the local level is far more challenging than what I do in Sacramento, far more challenging in Washington, D.C., despite the crazy man there. But I just want to commend you, and as Judge Filer stated, commend anyone who wants to step forward and represent their community. This young man has done a great job in his first term, and I thank you for this opportunity to say some words today. Congratulations.
And I just wanted to say it is such an honor and privilege to be here this afternoon to introduce my good friend and someone I feel is my son, who has done such a great job here in Compton. So let's get started here. Are you ready, Councilman?
Let's do it.
Okay. So first of all, say aye and give us your names.
I, Isaac Galvan,
So do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
and without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
All right, congratulations.
How you guys doing? It's awfully quiet for a big party, right? I thought I was in Compton. You know, I wish we had a swearing-ins more often because it'll give me a chance to see my brother, my mentor, Isidore Hall in the building. You know, first I want to take a moment to thank God for the position that He put me in, because I know without God none of this would be possible. So I want to thank God for, choosing me and anointing me for this position. You know, a lot of times you think you do things on your own. But I've learned, my mom was a spiritual woman, and I learned that everything is in God's timing and everything is in God's plan. So I want to thank God first. I want to thank my family for coming out today. My uncles, my cousins, everybody that's here today showing me support. I want to thank you guys for coming. Let's give a round of applause for all of my family members. I also want to thank everybody that supported me in my campaign, in my quest for re-election. Everybody that knocked on a door, everybody that donated a check, everybody that picked up the phone and made a phone call, everybody that helped me mail out a flyer, that came to my fundraisers and my events and supported me. I want to thank you guys all from the bottom of my heart. I could not have done this without you guys, so let's give them a round of applause to all of my supporters and those that voted for me too in the district. Now I want to personally thank all the people that hindered me, the people that made my job tougher. And there's only one person, my brother Sergio Calderon. Let's give him a round of applause. Sergio made me work harder than anybody because I had to clean up a lot of the mistakes, but Sergio's my brother and he was with me from the beginning, and I want to thank him for his service that he's done to me. As many of you guys know, it's no secret, I had a very tough year last year. I had my brother shot and killed as a victim of gun violence in a different city. I had my mother get very ill over that, and she ultimately passed away at the end of last year. And it was a very, very tough year for me. And on top of that, I had to deal with the daily nonsense, I want to call it. And the word I want to say is a curse word, but I see a little baby, so I don't want to say it. So let's just say, I'm very tempted. A lot of BS that I had to deal with on different stuff that people were attacking me on last year. Complete nonsense, of course. And it was really tough. I was at the point where, I didn't even want to run for my re-election. I was ready to just, pack it in and, go be there for my family and, take care of my family and focus on my family. It was really, to one of the last minutes when I decided to pull papers and run. And the reason I did that mainly was because I think we've accomplished a lot of stuff the last 4 years in the city of Compton. But the biggest reason why I did it was because I felt like I'm not done doing what I have to do. I felt like my mom didn't raise a quitter. I feel like my mom, a single mother with 5 children, never graduated high school, struggled every day of her life to provide for her children. I felt like it was a disservice to her name for me to not finish the work that I started just because I was feeling down on myself and I wanted to be a victim because I lost my family members. Instead, I decided to run, and I decided to be able to be a voice for my community. As you know, Compton historically has a bad problem with violence. A lot of single-family homes in the city of Compton. A lot of people who have been victims of gun violence. What people don't understand, and what I realized last year, you hear people say it all the time, but you don't know until you actually deal with it firsthand, is when somebody's a victim of gun violence, it has an effect that you do not even know. My mom was in pretty much good health, and the second my little brother got killed, her health just went completely down. All of a sudden, she was hallucinating, seeing things. She didn't remember who she was. She was in the hospital for 8 months. And those are the stories that people you don't hear about. You just hear about the person that got shot and killed, but you don't hear about the effects that it had on the rest of your family members. So I decided to run again to tell those stories. I also believe in the city of Compton we have a lot more work to do, like I said in the beginning. I speak from the heart. I don't write speeches, and I just talk from my heart. Some of the things that we did my first 4 years as the son of a single mother, I know how tough it was to put your kids in after-school sports. So one of the things that I championed right away when I got elected, and thanks to the support of my colleagues, we were able to do it and provide free after-school sports for every single one of our Compton kids. Let's clap for that. And since we did that, our enrollment in basketball, football, baseball, soccer, volleyball, we used to average about 135 kids. Since we made sports free for all the kids, we're averaging 375 kids per sport at each of our parks in Compton. We have a big homeless problem in the city of Compton. A lot of families are homeless. A lot of families living in our streets. A lot of young children who didn't choose to be born in a homeless family. So what do we do as a council member? As a council, I say council because nobody can do this by themselves. It's not just the mayor, it's not just me, it's not just anybody. We work as a team. So as a council, we knew there was a homeless problem, so what do? We approved free meals at every single one of our parks in Compton. Free breakfast, free dinner. Any kid that wants to go eat in Compton, no more hungry kids in the city. We had a big unemployment problem in the city of Compton back in 2013. What did? We started creating jobs. We brought an ordinance forward that any developer, any local business that comes to the city of Compton, minimum 30% of the jobs, Compton residents. So I think that the work we have to do, we have a lot more work to do, and I'm excited for the opportunity to serve with my colleagues. I'm excited to work with the school board members to make sure our kids get a good education, to support the positive stuff they have going on over there. I want to work with the college, which recently got its accreditation back, and make sure that our kids not only get a high school diploma, but a college diploma. Getting a little spiritual, if you're sorry. One of the next things I want to do is make sure we fix the air conditioning in here. Sorry about that, I got a little hot. I tried to lose 50 pounds in a day, so I was in the sauna, and I got a little sunburn today, so please excuse me. I'm getting really excited. Another thing I want to do is I want to make sure that we work and build strong relationships with our statewide elected officials to make sure that Compton gets their fair share of state dollars coming to the city of Compton. Too many times people treat Compton residents for years. You guys have been treated like second-class citizens, which is why you guys have high water rates, which is why we had a $42 million deficit. But I'm here to let you guys know today, we are on the track to fixing all of that. And that's why I ran again, because I want to be at the end of it when our water rates are normal, when our property taxes are down, when our streets are repaved, when our graffiti is gone, when the gang members are now working instead of shooting guns. That's why I ran for my re-election. And that's what the message I told to the voters. Some things that I've done, that we've done together in the district, 2nd District alone. You're inside it right now. A beautiful 30,000 square foot community center where every day 250 of our seniors come right here and eat their lunch. A fitness center right behind there so our seniors can exercise, so our seniors can be healthy. Let's clap for that, right? I love my seniors. Compton is a city that has faced many challenges, many obstacles. I think together with the new council that's up here, with Mayor Brown, with Councilwoman McCoy, Councilwoman Zarita. Let's give McCoy a round of applause. I love Councilwoman McCoy. I think with the new body we have in place, we're going to take Compton to heights that it's never seen before, or heights that it's been at but hasn't been there in many, many years. Decades. And you know one thing too, this last election cycle, I was very grateful to all of my residents that supported me and voted for me. I was very confident. I was confident running because when God is with you, who can be against you, right? But I was very grateful is the word I'm looking for, that I won straight out, didn't have to go to a runoff. But even when I did, even when I was out in a runoff and my colleagues were, I decided to support my colleague from the beginning to the end. And I had several people say, oh, why are you supporting an African American when you have a Latino that could win and Compton needs more Latino representation? What people don't understand is, we're in 2017. There's no more black and brown. It's us. Like Mother Love said, what do you guys think of soul food? Fingers pointing, nothing gets done. But together, we will strike a mighty blow. And Compton is on the way back. God bless you guys all, and God bless the great city of Compton. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. At this time, we'd like to also recognize the Honorable Sandra Sarita, President of the Compton Unified School District. There she is. Next we have Councilmember Tana McCoy from District 3, who is an employee of the City of Compton for over 40 years before joining City Council. She will be sworn in by Councilmember Jana Sarita from District 1. Please welcome them to the stage.
It's an honor. And first I want to apologize for the air here. Because we do have an awesome air conditioner. I think it's just not turned on. But first of all, you guys know me. You know my sister. You know my beautiful mother sitting on the front row. I'm going to ask my sister to come up here. You hear, Sandra? Because we are the sisters, and we want to do this together. Is that all right with you, Ms. McCoy? It is truly an honor to be here, and I'm a little sister, so I'm going to do it anyway. It's a great day in Compton. So first of all, Sandra, I don't have my glasses, so you can do it.
Oh, okay. Well, it is a great day in Compton, and I'm honored to be here to swear in my very good friend, Tana McCoy. We couldn't have a better person in the 3rd District. Okay, so raise your right hand. I, Tana McCoy, do solemnly swear. I'm telling her what to say. You see what happened when we both get up here? Okay, come on, get close. I, Tana McCoy, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely
and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
We're proud to announce Councilwoman of the Great Third District, Tana McCoy.
Give honor to God because I am here because this is where He has chose for me to be. I want to thank you also, all of the people that have chose to vote for me, all the people that have chose to assist me, all of the people who had faith in me. More importantly, I want to thank my family, my dad who raised me to be the person that I am, my mom who I know is looking down upon me. My son that I know would be so proud of me. But I stand here because I'm proud to represent you. I am committed to not only serve the citizens of the 3rd District, but any citizen that is in need of assistance. This journey was not always easy, and while it was a challenge, I did enjoy the opportunity to meet most of you as I was out daily walking, or just those who came in to volunteer just because they wanted to help. And many of you know that I grew up in the city of Compton. I worked for the city of Compton for over 40 years, and I have been an advocate for all: children, young adults, seniors, veterans, the homeless, victims of abuse, and the mentally challenged. I will continue to bring the resources and special skills that I've acquired to continue to enhance the quality of life for the Compton residents. I've been working hard in the past year, and there are some great things on the horizon. I have a new In-N-Out coming. I have new housing, and more importantly, healthy eating choices. I'm going to work hard to clean up this town and work together with you, and working together, we will succeed. I must thank the Black clubs, organizations, friends, and individuals that helped and supported me in this endeavor. Whether you wrote a check, made calls, walked with me. I had many of my colleagues walk with me, and I thank you. Clean up, say a prayer, or to call to encourage me. I could not have done this without you. I worked hard and long with my family behind me, and with love and support and friendship. I have great friends, and I thank all of my friends. I must thank my family, my sister. I want to thank my brothers. I want to thank the sisters who were there always. I want to thank Mackay and Derek Humphreys, who was there for unwavering support and being on speed dial 24/7. This was a new endeavor for me, so I needed a lot of counseling. And finally, I want to say that special prayer to my son, Earl, who encouraged me at the end of his life, telling me, "Mom, I know that this is what you were made to do." And so I know he's looking down now, smiling, and I dedicate this victory to him. Thank you, guys. Well done. Well done.
City Attorney Craig Carnwell is our very next official to take the stage. He has served as city attorney since 2009, and from what I hear, he's a crowd favorite with the seniors. His Tai Chi classes are outstanding. He will be sworn in by the drag play. Please come to the stage.
Nice to be introduced by such a lovely lady. Good evening, everyone. I would like to introduce Craig's father and mother while I'm standing here, if I might. They're in the audience. I'd like for them to stand. And I focus upon them because when I recommended to the city council that Craig become my successor, I did so not only because he was an outstanding attorney in our office when I was city attorney, but also his mother was my teacher in high school. And as a teenager while in high school, I played for his father's church. It's an extraordinary thing, be honest. This is a high honor for me today. You ready? And this is his lovely wife, and you're right. I, Craig Cornwell, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California. That I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. Thank you. Congratulations.
Good evening, everyone. To God be the glory. As soon as I heard about this event, all my family and friends contacted me and asked me for a personal shout out. So I want everyone to know that I do not have the time to call everyone out by name, Ms. Dobson. I can't call everyone, Mr. Godwin, I can't. You guys, I have a Channel 7 microphone in front of me. Dr. Johnson, it would take, I got 4 minutes up here, Sean. I do not. Isidore, can you help me out? I can't. Everyone's name, my cousin Paula Spear, cousin Ezel, Dad, Mom, Miss Bluford, Miss Manning, I can't spend my whole time. Barbara Keys, how are you doing? I cannot. Miss Bosdale, I'm going to call you back. I'm going to call you. Let me get back to Miss Bluford for a second. She pulled me aside after a council meeting, I think it was. Michelle, how you doing? And she said, do you know what you're doing? And I said, I think I do. She said, you know you have an opponent. I said, yeah. But we want you to win. Okay. So you know what you're doing. We did okay. Miss Bluford did more than, I had folks on the payroll that did less than Miss Bluford. Thank you so much. Councilperson Zarita, past, present, and future, Mayor Brown, Mr. Brown's parents. I'm just really, really excited. To Judge Filer's comments about moving on, I really took them to heart. I want to take a moment just to acknowledge my opponent in the back. Oh, that's someone else from Calabasas. That's Bishop Hillary. How you doing? You're good? Donnell, where did I see you? Oh, homie, what's up? Always. No, seriously. There was a lot of learning experience for me during this campaign. It wasn't easy, and there were nights and days where I took a L. I mean, particularly at the beginning. Whew. It wasn't. There were just a lot of learning moments. You call them learning moments now. But then I reflect to the job. And the job is a learning moment. And I think about like Tuesday nights, we have these council meetings. And sometimes you get an A and sometimes you just get the credits, like D-. But it's what you do on Wednesday morning. And for 9 years, Wednesday morning, I've been up and back at it. Lawrence Adams, how you doing? Doing good, I like your tie. And that's what it's about. It's about getting up and getting back at it. And we at Compton, we have our issues, we have our challenges, but we just, one step at a time, we just gotta keep at it, Dr. Jones. I read this story about a Mr. Olympia, a workout guy, and they asked him how did he get started, and he said his first workout was 1 push-up and 1 sit-up. And if we have that mentality that we can do it one at a time and keep it going, we have something very, very special here. So it's my pleasure to serve you as city attorney. I will do my best moving forward. You saw my family, my wife, Marguerite. Can you wave one more time? She told me not to acknowledge her. Marguerite is our HOA president. I live in a townhouse, 17 units. And she's the president. It's like being a council person for a small community. One night, someone came to the house, knocked on the door, and said, "You're the HOA president." And she said, "Yes." And they said, "Well, I'm not getting the cable channels that I paid for." So we have a deal that if she handles that, I handle the city, and we keep it separate. We have a 10-year-old daughter that is an A+ student. I know nothing about that. I am a B- over C+. So it's really heartwarming to see her doing very well. I'm going to sit down now. God bless us and have a good week.
Another round of applause for the city attorney. I'm told he's rather straight-laced, but today he decided to do stand-up.
Man of many talents there. There we go. So he's plagued with shout-outs. Now you know how I feel. A day, can you shout me out on the radio? Can you remember my birthday? Wait till I get the birthdays, City Attorney. The next official that we're bringing up is actually guilty of texting me during the show for birthday shout-outs. We have City Clerk Alita Godwin. She has worked for the City of Compton for 35 years. She later took office in 2004 as the second African-American woman to hold the position of City Clerk. She will be introduced by Leah Steen Johnson. Oh, there you go, Dr. McSteen. And from the Chamber of Commerce is sworn in by Dr. George L. Thomas, pastor of Holy Chapel Missionary Baptist Church.
Good evening. It is indeed a privilege, pleasure, and an honor to introduce our city clerk, proud to have taken her oath of office this evening. Alita has worked her entire career in the city clerk's office. She was hired as an office assistant. She mastered every clerical task in that position. She remained in that position for 10 years and was promoted to administrative technician. She also conquered all of the duties in that position and was promoted to deputy city clerk. Alita remained in that position for 3 years and was again promoted to chief deputy city clerk. And after serving dutifully in that position for 3 years, you, the citizens, voted and elected Alita to be the elected city clerk, where she has remained for the past 13 years. Suffice it to say that Alita knows each and every position in the clerk's office up close and personal.
All right.
And during her 2017 election, again, you, the voters, voted Alita to continue her work of serving the residents, serving the citizens, and serving the businesses of Compton. So it is a pleasure to introduce to some and present to others our city clerk, Alita Godwin.
Good evening. Some 4 years ago, I had the distinct pleasure of being able to stand here and present this great city with their city clerk. After which time, I noticed that she began to rise in esteem in our church fellowship. She and her entire family are avid members of the Holy Chapel Church in Compton, and she wears quite distinguishedly many hats there. I'm also proud to acknowledge her achievements and accomplishments in this great city, and it's with unfettered respect that I applaud the citizenry for your distinct decision in re-electing her to such an honored position. Today, I'm privileged once again to be able to present to the great city of Compton their city clerk position to Sister Alita Godwin. I, Alita Godwin, do solemnly affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I will bear true faith
I will bear true faith
and
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well
and that I will well
and faithfully
and
discharge
faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I'm about to
the
enter.
duties on which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God. Now y'all know I prepared a speech, right? Yeah. Hello, Compton. We did it again, another 4 years. To God be the glory. First and foremost, I would like to thank God for this blessed opportunity to stand before you once again as your elected city clerk. Of course, I'm going to read my speech because I only have so much time up here and I want to get it all in. It's hard to get 35 years into 4 or 5 minutes, so bear with me as I read to you from my heart. As God placed me on this journey some 13 years ago, I had no idea where it was going to lead me. So if you bear with me a few moments, I would like to share some of my testimony. In case you didn't know, you have to be tested in order to have a testimony. Despite what people may have said, or what you may have even heard, here's my story on how God favored me in spite of my enemies. You see, this is how they tried to shame my name. They whispered, they conspired, they even told lies. They attacked my character, my integrity, but they couldn't touch my faith in God. I don't worry about my haters. My haters can't do nothing with me because the favor of God is on my life. Every lie that has been written about me and even mailed to the community since 2005, I placed it in my Bible that sits on my desk next to Psalms 37, where it says, "Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down, like the grass and the wither as the green herb." I then close my Bible and I say to the Lord, you deal with this, because the battle is not mine, it's yours. I am a true believer that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Yes, they will form, but they will never prosper. I was put in this position not by my own will, but by the will of God. So on April the 16th in 2013, God tested my faith because I told him that I was running this race on believing that in the end, I would be victorious and what he has for me is for me. Well, I was doing great up until the final hour. As I'm working on election night, reading the results, not keeping the score on who's ahead or who's trailing. Towards the end of the night, my opponent, who is well known in the community, walked in red. And we know red represents power. And we also know that candidates don't show up on election night unless they heard that they're winning or they won. So as my opponent walked in proudly, as though they were winning or won, I began to see the long faces of my family, my staff, my supporters, so I began to doubt God. I became long-faced and sad as well, and began to wonder, how was I going to take care of my family? God then whispered to me and said, "Why are you doubting me now?" As I turned and walked away to gather myself, the Lord spoke to me again and said, "Why are you doubting me now?" And in the moment as I turned, I realized that the vote by mail ballots had not been counted. And I said to myself, it ain't over. And I began to stand tall and believe again. I am reminded of Psalms 27. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even my enemies and my foes, came upon me to eat up my flesh, they did stumble and they fell. Though a host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war should rise against me, in this I was confident. And it goes on to say, for in the time of trouble, he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret of his tabernacle shall he hide me. He shall set me up upon a rock, and now shall my head be lifted up above my enemies around about me. And at the end of the night, and looking back over the results the next day, it was then that I realized I was never losing. I only lost a few precincts and my belief. But I am a witness that when God shows up, he shows out. So in this 2017 race, I told God I was running on grateful. I am truly grateful for my 35 years in the city clerk's office. It has been a wonderful growing experience. I would not change this journey for anything in the world. I've been talked about, lied on, but none of that matters because I have been appreciated by the mass majority of this community, which is why I've been re-elected to my 4th term. God would bless those that bless him. So for this journey, I give him all the praise, the glory, the honor to my Heavenly Father, who has sustained me and kept me strong to endure the struggles of being an elected official. I have been tested to be a testimony. So that's my story of how God favored me. Now I'd like to thank Dr. Lestine Johnson for introducing me and for being my sounding board when that old Alita wanted to resurface. Thank you for always having an encouraging word for me and making sure I stay focused on the mission at hand, and that was to continue serving this community with dignity. Thanks for being my sister friend. I love you. Thank you to my wonderful and supportive pastor, Dr. George Thomas, for swearing me in today. Thank you for your wisdom and always giving me sound advice on how to best deal with situations I faced as an elected official on a daily basis. And thank you for always teaching and reminding me that God will not take or send me to a storm that he will not bring me through. I love you, and there is nothing in the world you can do about it. Thank you to my husband, Bernard, for standing in my corner and supporting me through it all. I know it's not easy hearing people tell lies about your wife, but I thank God for your growth in him. I thank you for being being in my life for the past 28 years as my husband and friend. I love you dearly. Thank you to my sons, Tyree and Jawan. It seems during this election you were attacked and lied on just as much as I was, and you weren't even candidates. Thank you for remaining the respectful young men that you were raised to be. I know it's not easy hearing and reading lies on social media about your mother, but I am most proud of how you both carried yourselves through it all. Continue to follow your dreams, and Mommy loves you. Thank you to my staff. Thank you for understanding when I had to take it up another level and
and wasn't always easy to deal with. Thank you for making sure I ate and had plenty of water. That's why I have all these pounds. I know some tried to test your character, but you guys stood strong and always remained professional. A special thank you to my elections coordinator, Deborah. Without you, I would have sunk to the bottom of the ocean. It's not easy trying to work and run a campaign at the same time. I didn't have the luxury of taking off work to run my campaign. I still had a job to do. But thank you for always making sure everything was taken care of. Words could never express how much I appreciate you and for all of your support. I love you all so much. A special thank you to my mentor, Charles Davis. Thanks for being my think tank and allowing me to bounce things off of you. Thank you for being my boss for 22 years, my father figure, and for giving me away at my wedding. I thank you for the many roles that you've played in my life. Thank you to the city employees for your continued support and trusting in me. Thank you to everyone that supported my campaign for re-election. You are appreciated. Thank you to my Holy Chapel family for all of your love, support, and prayers, and hearing me have to announce every Sunday morning. Thank you for your patience. And last but certainly not least, I want to give a huge thank you to the Compton community. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for trusting in me. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for comforting me. Thank you for encouraging me. But most of all, thank you for appreciating me. Your presence here tonight fills my heart with joy, love, and happiness. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. And in closing, I just want to say to my colleagues, we must find a way to come together and work together for the betterment of this community. None of us were put in these positions by chance. It is all God's divine purpose. We are here to be servants to God's people. I am challenging each one of you to put your differences aside and come together in order to work together. Let go of grudges you may have with one another. When you hold grudges, your hands aren't free to catch blessings. I also challenge the community to put your differences aside and work with your elected officials to make our community the community that it can be and should be. Together we are greater. 2 Chronicles verse 14 says, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sins, and I will heal their lands. To the people of Compton, I'm asking that we humble ourselves so that our land can be healed. I would like to thank my family, friends, and the Compton community once again for coming out to witness me being sworn in as your city clerk for the next 4 years. May God continue to bless all of you that prayed, voted, and supported me through the years. I love you all. God bless the city of Compton. Is my prayer.
We must acknowledge the mayor of the city of Signal Hill. Mayor Edward Wilson is here with us. Here he is over there. Next to the stage, we have City Treasurer Douglas Saunders. Sanders, come on up. Who is a veteran to City Hall, has served as treasurer since 1993. Following his late father, Wesley Saunders Jr.'s footsteps. He will be introduced by Leiston Johnson from the Chamber of Commerce and sworn in by Pastor Leon.
Good evening again. Again, it is an honor and a privilege to introduce our city treasurer, proud to him taking his oath of office. Doug Saunders served for the past 23 years. He was elected by you, the voters. And he has served obediently as the Compton City Treasurer. He's made significant progress in the Treasurer's office over these years, and he continues to exert himself towards self-improvement while at the same time improving the Treasurer's office. During the 2017 election, you made a conscious decision to have Mr. Sanders continue with forward movement in the Treasurer's office. You did that by electing him to continue to be the Compton City Treasurer. So again, I introduce myself and present to others your City Treasurer for the next 4 years, Mr. Dyson.
It's a great privilege to be here this afternoon. It's a great honor to do this for me. I know this man for a long time. I've been in the city of Compton for 35 years. We work together in a lot of different things. He's a man that has a heart for his community. And he's been faithful, serving for all these years. And it's a privilege for me to do this. I really believe this, that everything that is happening here is designed by God. If God would not want them to be here, they would not be here. It was God chosen and picked, and that's the reason they are here. And for that, to God be the glory. To God be the glory. Come on. To God be the glory. Yes. And we need to put everything aside. Election is over. Let's shake hands. Let's kiss one another. And let's move forward. We have a great job to do. And I really believe that we have a team that God placed together to take us to the next level. Amen? And so today, it's an honor for me to do this. So just repeat after me.
Yes,
I, Douglas Sanders.
I, Douglas Sanders.
Do solemnly swear, affirm.
Do solemnly affirm.
That I will support and defend.
I will support and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
Against all enemies.
Against all enemies.
Foreign and domestics.
Foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
I will bear true faith and allegiance.
To the Constitution of the United States.
To the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of California.
And the Constitution of the State of
That
California.
I take this obligation freely.
I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose or evasion.
That I will well and faithfully.
That I will
and
faithfully
discharge the duties.
Discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
Upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Hello, Compton. Aren't we blessed to be here today? There are some people who didn't wake up this morning, but you woke up this morning and you made it here. Now, I've never been a man of a lot of words. They said in order to have a captive audience is that you say what you have to say in the shortest period of time. So you're going to get that from me today. Aren't you glad? I'm not one of those politicians. I guess I should be a comedian like Craig. First and foremost, giving honor to God for allowing all of us to be here today. And Pastor Leon, I want to thank you personally, you and your congregation and your lovely wife. They walked the streets for me over this past 2 election cycles. They were there for me. I really appreciate it. You're a man of word. You're a man of good deed. And also, I like to thank Pastor Thomas as a good friend, his support, his prayers for me. And I want to recognize a couple of folks, Stephen Bradford, former Senator Hall. I see Councilwoman Lily Dobson, Councilman Jones. Let's see, who else am I missing out here? I see you all the time. But also to the rest of the pastors and fathers and imams, giving honor to you, as well as this community. For 44 years ago, you elected my father, Wesley Sanders Jr., to the city treasurer, and if it was not for him, I wouldn't have gone into running for the treasurer's office. For that, I am very grateful today. Despite having a person in my office betraying this community, the office and staff, and myself, the majority of the community stood with me. Again, I'm humble and grateful for your support. That Spirit of God that's in me and the character of being truthful and being honorable showed its fruits during the election process. Because I take this job that you have elected me to do over these many years very seriously. That puts my obligation of having that fiduciary responsibility of treasurer to you in our community. So in that term, the next term that I will try to, in this term, I will try to re-educate this community on the duties and functions of my office throughout the 4 districts of the city of Compton. Now, what I've learned over these last 24 years is that the position doesn't belong to me. And here's a little news flash. It doesn't belong to you either. It belongs to God. You see, Compton is an enclave of this earth. And the last time that I checked, this whole earth is still God's garden. And He's the boss. And He's running it. And we serve at His will. So in that, I'm going to end in Deuteronomy 31:6. Be strong and of good courage. Do not fear, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord your God, or my God, He is the one who goes with you or with me. He will not leave you nor forsake you. And I just want to say to this community, I am truly honored to have served you over these last 24 years. We have here what Moses and Aaron and Hur had as a shared responsibility. I can't do without you, and you can't do without me. So on that end, thank you very much. God bless America. God bless the city of Compton. Thank you.
At this time, we'd like to acknowledge a very special guest that's here. They tell me that platinum recording artist and Compton native High C is in the building. Give him a round of applause. Okay, last but not least, the lady of the hour. The one we've been waiting for, our honorable Mayor, Asia Brown. She made history in 2013 as the youngest elected official to serve as mayor in the city of Compton. She will be introduced and sworn in by her husband of over 17 years, Van Brown. Welcome him here.
Good evening, everybody. Everybody's looking really good tonight. I just want to let you all know that. Thank you. All right, so I have the honor and the privilege of, let me get this this out of there. There we go. I have the honor and privilege of introducing my wife of 14 years, best friend of 17 years. And briefly, I just want to say a few things prior to talking about her service with the City of Compton. I have seen her serve in every capacity of our lives, whether that's been in church, whether that's been in friendship, in mentoring young women, and the list goes on and on. And so I'm just so pleased that she's walking in what the Lord gave her to do, and that she's fulfilling her purpose. And so that's quite important. So give a round of applause for the Lord. So you heard a few of the high notes. The youngest mayor in the city of Compton, the second woman in the city of Compton, and a great servant. So I want to welcome up Asia Brown, Honorable Asia Brown.
Ask that our parents please join us on the stage as well. My mother, my Brown family, come on up for the swearing in. Also, I want to acknowledge Minister Anton Curtis, who is a very special person in our lives, man of God. Many of you may have witnessed him walking in his purpose every single day, laboring at the courthouse, winning souls, doing the Great Commission. And so he is going to be holding the Word of God, our mantle, for us during the ceremony.
Okay, I'm going to need you to repeat after me. I, Asia Brown, do solemnly swear
I, Asia Brown, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely
and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
Let's welcome our Mayor, Asia Brown.
Thank you all. I just want to thank God, praise God all the time. Just give God and praise for what He has done. He doesn't just like to say He's the great I am. There's nobody greater. It is a blessing and an honor to be here today. I usually speak from off the top of my head, from my heart, but I did prepare a speech to stay on time to respect you all so that we can go enjoy the festivities. And so as I begin, friends, fellow residents, and family, it is a blessing and an honor to be here today. First and foremost, I have to thank my Lord, my Commander-in-Chief, my Redeemer, King Jesus. You reign forever and forevermore. To my husband, my best friend, my love, my king, it's me and you forever. I love you. To my mother, who raised me to be humble, fearless, compassionate, and to never quit, I salute you. You're the strongest woman that I've known to live with. To my beloved family, you all are here, my in-laws. I'm blessed to have in-laws that are like parents. So to Papa Brown and Mama Brown, I love y'all. To my entire family, the Dansleys, my papa's here, I love you guys. To my entire family, I love you. To my team, my loves, my valiant soldiers, you're the best that ever did it, period. We are small but mighty, and the great thing is we're just getting started. Thank you for your faith in me as a leader. I love you to the moon, and remember, all God needed was a remnant. To our supporters,
You are second to none. You're our secret assassins that combat the forces of darkness and oppression that have kept our city bound for generations. I salute you. Thank you for fighting with truth and light, not hate. For me, for our babies, and because we believe in a better Compton. The great news is Compton manufactures champions. Tenacity and determination flows through our veins, knitting us together like the most beautiful quilt. We're all loved, we've all lost, we all had to fight, yet we're all still here, and I'm still here. As my mother taught me, cream always rises to the top. To those that were in doubt, let your faith be more established. To those that fought against us, thank you for doing your part to make us stronger. I can never repay you. Amen. I come bearing great news today. City of Compton, the blessing is upon us. It is our season to flourish, and we are taking no prisoners. If you are not for Compton, you are against Compton, and we shall succeed by any means necessary. There is a place for everyone, but it is critical that we all do what we were called to do, gifted and prepared by God. We have entered into a new season. And with every new season, there is a new standard. This is bigger than one person. The Lord has touched the hearts of his people, and they have spoken. It is time to move forward, onward. It is time to finish the work. If it isn't about progress, it's petty. Put it aside. I ran for mayor because I believed I was called to effect change. Instead of complaining, I brought solutions. Leadership requires tough choices. Progress comes at a price. And you have to be willing to make tough calls and take those hits to move the vision forward. For those of you that have followed the last 4 years, you know that we've had our fair share. But I can tell you without a single doubt that this journey has been nothing short of amazing. And I give God all glory and thanks. And I thank the residents from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to serve as your mayor. It has truly been one of the highest honors of my life. Thank you. We worked tirelessly. We've celebrated so many successes as you've heard my colleagues talk about, and we have learned from every single setback. We stayed focused, we kept the faith, and we continued on toward the mark and accomplished what we promised to do. And I can assure you that the best is yet to come. One thing I love about facts and stats is that they do not lie. And as much has changed in the city of Compton since 2013. Unemployment has fallen from 18.5% to 6.4%. Glory to God. Homicides are down 75% year to date. Over the last 4 years, we've experienced record low rates. And while I recognize that one life lost is much too many because it devastates a family, but I am pleased to report that today we are on track to break a 30-year record low, which we reached in 2013 of 13 homicides per year, because in 2017 we only had 4 to date. And we praise God for that. And this proves that when we as a community commit and work together, we can do anything. The sky is the limit. We've experienced a record level of new investment. We welcome Fortune 500 companies, new restaurants, new businesses, grocery stores, retailers, housing developments, senior homes, lending institutions, community development corporations, even a new movie theater and entertainment promenade, which is scheduled to break ground in 2018. Our success is a result of people committing to a new direction, a new vision for Compton. For the first time, Compton Elite have recommitted to Compton in a major way. From a new performing arts center, courtesy of Dr. Dre, a new family resource center, courtesy of the Williams sisters, to a new rolling skater rink that we'll be announcing this fall, and so much more. We led the pack with our own local measure to fund our own infrastructure repairs for the first time in decades. We have a real plan and money to repave every single street in Compton. Add much needed street lighting, renovate every single park, and beautify our great city. Looking forward, we now have the funding necessary to restore our city, and we're off and running. And I want to say a special thank you to my colleagues, because I know that the Lord positioned all of us to be here today, and it's up to us to move the city forward. And so I thank you in advance for us working together collectively to move the city forward. I'm pleased to have the support of our colleagues to aggressively clean up our city. We're rolling out our new Clean Compton strategy focused on eliminating blight, cleaning our streets, and putting Compton residents and taxpayers first. This is an all-hands-on-deck community effort that is designed to not only beautify our city, but most importantly, instill a new level of pride in our community. We'll be reaching out for the help of everyone under the sound of my voice, so stay tuned, and I thank y'all in advance. Lastly, as I close, I want to remind each and every one of us one important fact. One person cannot and will not fix anything alone. It's going to take a commitment from every community member to do our small part to make Compton a better place. Progress is a process. There's one thing that I've learned after being in partnership with Van Brown for over 15 years, that the sky is the limit when you decide what it means to actually, and I want to take a second, and I learned this from Pastor Reverend Natalie Owens, that to decide is to cut off any and all options. And so when we as a community decide to cut off any and all options of staying stagnant and not moving forward, the sky will be the limit for the city of Compton. The only enemy to Compton's future is Compton. United we stand, divided we fall. The choice is ours. I'm calling every resident, business person, elder, pastor, community activist, teacher, family, and elected official to stand with me to move our great city forward. If you love Compton, let's go, let's do this. Let's finish the work. Let's break the ceiling of where the spectators, commentators, and haters expect us to go. Today, I declare we are going in a new direction, one direction, and that's onward. Onward to take back our neighborhoods, onward to take back our schools, onward to take back our great city of the city of Compton. And I thank you all for allowing me to serve on today. I give God all praise, glory, and honor for everything He's done in and through my life. And as I close, I'm going to invite Associate Pastor of Faith Inspirational and Leadership Coach Extraordinaire, Minister Natalie Owens, to join us on stage to prepare us and administer a leadership charge for all elected officials under the sound of my voice and leaders in Compton. If you're a member of the school board, college board, council, Natalie is going to ask you to join us on stage at the appropriate time, so get ready. Thank you all. God bless you.
We can do better than that. If this were Torrance, they'd be doing better than that. Let's show them that Compton is proud of who we put in office. Amen? I say good evening to each and every one of you, and it's an honor to be here tonight. And I'd like to say thank you to our elected officials. You've been chosen to take this position, but I must say leading is not an easy task. If it were the case, all of us would be in these seats and they would be sitting out here. Leadership is never easy. Not as a parent, not as a pastor, not as a community leader, not as an elected official. It is not easy, and not everybody wants to do it. And so tonight I've been given the task to charge you into your position. I will say this, Compton, the world is watching this city. Listen to me tonight. The world is watching this city. The world is watching this city. And we will be the city set upon a hill that everybody desires to be like. People will come here to wonder, how did this change come about? And we won't be able to say, well, Mayor Brown did it, or Pastor so-and-so did it, or our elected city clerk did it. It will be an involvement of everybody in this room. It takes a village to change a city. And so no longer will we put all the responsibility on one person. Amen? I'm a preacher, so excuse me. But all of the responsibility is not on one person. So tonight, I charge you as the community, I charge our elected officials, I charge every pastor. Leadership is not what you do, but leadership is who you are. For every official that came to this podium, I heard God. And I want to say this, I charge you that if the God that you speak of is in you, bring him forth. There should be evidence that God is in you. And when God is in you, we are on one accord. We are on the same page. I sit my agenda down, I sit my opinions down, I sit my way down to stand up to do what is best for this city. So tonight, I charge you, lead with integrity, lead under the power of God, lead with purpose, lead with your potential, lead with sacrifice, lead in commitment, lead in discipline. And before we can give anything to the people, we should have it first as leaders. We must come together because the world is watching. And when leadership gets together at the top, the games at the bottom will stop. The violence will go away. When leadership gets together at the top, our schools will be better. I challenge you and I charge you tonight. Lay aside your agenda. Go beyond you. Grow beyond yourself. Be open to humble your heart and stay open to be teachable. Nobody knows everything, and she said no one person can do this. It will take everybody in this room, but it will take humble hearts, open minds, and teachable spirits. Let go of what is behind us. Judge Fowler said it. We are moving forward. And I challenge you as every official, you've been chosen to do a work for such a time as this. Take the mantle, carry it, and carry it with honor, carry it with dignity, carry it with pride, carry it with integrity. And most of all, carry it under the power of God that you've been ordained to carry. God bless you.
Well said. Let's see here. There we are. Now, to officially close out our program, I'd like to welcome Bishop Johnny Ray Withers, Jr. from United Christian Fellowship Church. Let's welcome the bishop to the stage.
Well, let's all stand. Can we do a favor and reach over and hold someone's hand? Hold somebody's hand. It's okay, they got sanitizer. Y'all will be all right. I want every head bowed. I want every eye closed. Every head bowed and every eye closed. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you